This is a hero, and this is mortal enemy surprising the hero with a backshots attack. And right now I will attempt to teach you how to draw this freaky fight between a hero and his mortal enemy. Before starting this drawing, we have to think of a reason about why this fight between the hero and the villain is happening. After sniffing some glue for a couple of minutes, I'm joking, I don't sniff glue and that's wrong, don't do it. I just shove it down my idea. Let's just focus on the idea. For example, in my case, the hero was going to be taking a relaxing shower inside his home. And then he's surprised by the villain and the fight starts. So I decided to draw this fight as a sequence of 3 panels. Like for example in comics, where each panel represents a moment in time that shows a specific scene or action. And I think this will be helpful for this tutorial because thanks to the 3 panels repetition, you will be able to see how I draw the changes in expressions between the hero and the villain. Now we are going to start drawing the first panel. As I do with all my drawings, I always start the first sketch of the drawing by simplifying the general shape I want to draw into geometrical figures. That's because geometrical shapes are easily recognizable. And because by breaking down complex objects or scenes into geometrical figures, focusing on the overall composition becomes easier. Anyway, the first scene takes place after the hero got surprised by his mortal enemy while he's taking a shower. A little bit of context, the hero's name is 𝓕𝓻𝓮𝓪𝓴𝔂 and the villain's name is 𝓕𝓻𝓮𝓪𝓴𝔂, but I digress. You see, the hero is quite clumsy and he dropped his soap. Well, to be honest, he's always dropping things, and every time he drops something, 𝓕𝓻𝓮𝓪𝓴𝔂 attacks. And sadly, 𝓕𝓻𝓻𝓮 has the power to be everywhere all at once. So even when 𝓕𝓻𝓮𝓪𝓴𝔂 takes showers, he needs to be cautious of 𝓕𝓻𝓮𝓪𝓴𝔂. As you can see, in the first panel, 𝓕𝓻𝓮 wasn't cautious, and he got surprised by 𝓕𝓻𝓮𝓪𝓴𝔂, who suddenly appeared behind him. When drawing the expression of the hero, I wanted him to look quite in shock, but not in a bad way, because he secretly likes 𝓕𝓻𝓮𝓪𝓴𝔂. So 𝓕𝓻𝓻𝓮 is pretending to be in shock, but he's actually quite excited. That's why, although 𝓕𝓻𝓮𝓪𝓴𝔂 is showing a shocking expression with his eyes wide open as well as his mouth, he's still blushing. You can also apply the same advice for your characters. When you are drawing a character who is pretending to have one expression but in reality they feel something else, try to draw a combination of both feelings on their face. 𝓕𝓻𝓻𝓮, the villain, is way more cunning than the hero, but he's not as intelligent. As a result, he's unaware of the hero's inner feelings. 𝓕𝓻𝓻's main purpose is to defeat the hero with his most fatal technique, the solo backshots. As a result, in this first panel, the villain has a victorious smirk as he hands 𝓕𝓻𝓮𝓪𝓴𝔂 his soap.
Oh no, not 𝓕𝓻𝓮 in my shower again. Well, surprise Mr. King. I hope you are ready for my backshots.
No, not the deep backshots again.
Okay, now we will start with panel number 2. For the second panel, I wanted to change the angle of the characters. If you notice, in the first panel, both characters were in a front angle. Therefore, I decided to draw a 3/4 angle for the second panel. That's actually something I recommend to comic, webtoon, or manga creators to do. When you have many panels, all of them in the same angle, even if the story and the character designs are good, the art will look stiff and boring. And the least I want is for my characters to look boring and stiff when they are the opposite. Thanks to the mirror ruler tool, I see many webtoon artists drawing a lot of panels with characters in a front angle point of view. Because of course it saves a lot of time when the only thing you need to do is to draw half of a character and the tool will draw the other half for you. But I think some artists overuse that tool a lot. If the comic has some few panels looking like that, it's understandable. Of course, we all want to save time when we are drawing hundreds of panels weekly. But when most of the panels are front view panels clearly made with the Miro ruler tool, it looks lazy, and I have even dropped stories because of that. So even if it takes you a little bit longer, I highly recommend you to experiment drawing different angles at each panel, even if your character is only talking. As an example, in the second panel, the only thing my characters are doing is to argue before the epic fight. As always, the hero is pretending to be upset at the villain for randomly appearing while he's showering. Meanwhile, the villain is preparing his massive gun to start the Backshots attack. So right now, none of them are doing anything interesting. But because I changed the angle of the second panel, it looks fun and entertaining. For the expressions in the second panel, I decided to draw Super King, so the hero, pouting. Cause you know, he's pretending to be upset, but he's really not. And the villain right now is savoring the backshots because he knows it's going to be good.
King man, can you feel my deadly gun? The only thing I feel is the power of justice about to punish you. Come, man.
Now that we have finished the first two panels and we are ready to draw the last panel, we have to keep into consideration that the last panel is the most important one. And maybe you are wondering,
well, I thought the first panel was the important one.
Yeah, the first panel is important because it's the one that will make your readers decide to keep reading. But the last panel, it's also very important because that's the panel that will give you readers the cliffhanger that will keep them waiting for more until the next chapter drops. In my case, as I'm drawing a fight between a hero and his mortal enemy as my last panel, I decided to showcase in this last panel the middle of the fight. And maybe you are wondering,
why did I decide to show the middle of the fight in this last panel?
Well, remember that during an epic fight, a lot of things can happen and will happen. In my case, a Super King, the hero, was receiving the backshots from 𝓕𝓻𝓮𝓪𝓴���, the villain. The power of justice got stuck inside the hero's throat. Maybe right now you are looking at the video and wondering,
Boo Boo, why are you posing your hand like that? It's weird and creepy. Stop.
Well, even if it looks weird, I need to pose my hand like that so I know how the hand of the villain looks as he tries to save the hero from choking. And that's something I really recommend to all of you guys. Always use references. If you think that using references is wrong, I'm sorry, but it's not. You really need them as an artist. Anyway, coming back to the drawing, maybe you are questioning why does the villain is helping the hero? Didn't 𝓕𝓻𝓮𝓪𝓴��� wanted to defeat the hero? Yes, 𝓕𝓻𝓮𝓪𝓴��� wanted to defeat Super King with his own powers. He doesn't want anybody else to defeat Mr. King, and that includes the power of justice. Then, of course, 𝓕𝓻𝓮𝓪𝓴𝓂 couldn't let Super King to die from choking. But don't get confused, he's also giving the hero some very strong backshots at the same time as he's doing CPR. But do you remember when I told you that a lot of things can happen during an epic fight? People call those plot twist. And there is a very big plot twist happening here. Super King is not choking. He's actually pretending to be choking so 𝓕𝓻𝓮𝓪𝓴𝓂 can give him CPR. Oh my god. I know, I'm a genius. I really should be hired by Hollywood to write their scripts for their shows. So if anybody from Hollywood is watching this video, hi, please hire me because I'm very broke and I need money. I'm sorry, let's come back. So yeah, the hero is pretending. He has been pretending since the beginning. Even the choking, he's also pretending the choking. And maybe you are wondering, Boo Boo, why is Super King pretending to be choking? Well, he's pretending to choke because he wants to see 𝓕𝓻𝓮𝓪𝓴𝓂's delicate side while getting his backshots. So that's what the last panel of this fight is about. I know people it's going to be wondering what is gonna happen next. Will Conman save Super King? What's gonna happen with the Backshots fight? Well, to be honest, I don't know. But that's how you draw a freaky fight between a hero getting backshots by his mortal enemy.